Ascot.
Ascot.
Ascot. Like you wear.
What is an ascot?
Oh,
An that's a piece of clothing?
dog.
Cat dog? I don't know what an ascot is.
You don't know what an ascot is?
I know what god ass is, but I don't know what an ascot is.
Ascot. ASCOT.
Oh, what is it? I don't know what to, tell me the answer.
It's Velma.
Oh, orange. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Why'd you say missing? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Midnight Release. This is Chase.
And this is Austin. Today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. You know, we've been doing a lot of gaming focus because that is, of course, what started us. But
True.
we're gonna get into a little bit different today.
Yeah, so the story mode today, we're going to go in a different direction. So we maybe have alluded to this already in last week's episode, but today our story mode is Saturday Morning Saved Us, which means exactly that. Saturday morning cartoons like TMNT, Sonic, Animaniacs, X-Men, Scooby-Doo, and so many more that were always there for us, on those non-school days. Now, these are all valid, but we can't also forget about the weekly Toonami blocks. That exposed a whole generation to anime for the first time. Frankly, that was me. I think your first exposure was probably Toonami too, just a different block. But so it wasn't a Saturday cartoon, but definitely a big staple regardless. And even some other nostalgic shows. I feel they may have been before your time, Austin, but like Doug and Rugrats, Rocko's Modern Life.
I've watched Doug. I watched Rugrats. Rocco's was a little bit. It kind of stopped whenever.
It's mind-boggling how many adult themes are in some of those now that I've watched them as an adult. But even though the topic specifies Saturday, we're free-spirited, and we're going to be talking about kind of all sorts of media today.
And we're going to get into these pretty heavy today. I watched a lot of Sonic on Saturdays. I remember watching it. We watched it quite a bit. Toonami was big though. Like that's definitely what got me into anime originally.
Yeah, I never watched the Sonic show very much. Obviously, I played the game like crazy, but before we get into the episode, let me just take a minute first of all to say thank you, just to everybody who has given us an hour or so of your time over the last couple weeks. This whole thing was kind of spontaneous in the grand scheme, and we've really been enjoying it. Really, it's doing the same thing that we always do when we get together, but now sharing it with everybody else and anybody who wants to participate.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much just have conversations, talk about this stuff all the time. Now we're just recording it and putting it out for other people to hear.
Yeah, probably a little more filtered than normal.
Yeah, that's definitely.
But we want to try and be appropriate, for everybody. But the first 2 weeks, we talked about midnight launches at GameStop. Then we talked about the console wars, which that was a beefy topic for sure. But each time we close those episodes out, we asked a question, something for your feedback. We have been looking at those as they've come in, comments, emails, things like that. And for those who may be asking, what are we going to do with the information? Well, at some point in time, once we have some content, we are going to have a side quest that's going to be called the Listener Memory Card, and we're going to go through and revisit some of those questions and responses from you, the listeners, and discuss it. So that being said, keep any feedback or answers to these questions coming, and we'll have a question at the end of today during our save point like usual, and maybe you'll hear us talk about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of cool being able to bring just mine and your conversation into everyone being able to be a part of it. So hopefully we don't not dislike your opinions too much, and we kind of...
Well, we're pretty chill though.
We're pretty laid back on it.
Yeah, if you got any hot takes, we may say, is what I always say is everyone is entitled to an opinion, even if it's a wrong opinion.
And chases are wrong 95% of the time.
Unnecessary. But also, we're going to be introducing a new segment, not next week, but probably the following week, where we're going to bring some other members from our circle that either worked at GameStop with us also, or just friends we've grown up with. That have the same vibes that we do, same nostalgic feel.
Or family members.
Yeah. So Austin's brother Wayne will likely be joining us. You've heard us talk about Howie a couple times, or Scott, depending on what you want to call him. But we'll have a little co-op action for you, if you will. So But all that being out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into our story mode for the day. All right. So, Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday morning saved us is kind of the topic, I guess. I mean, there was a lot back then. I mean, you had Fox Kids, WB Kids.
What was 7? 7 was that WB Kids?
I think 7 was WB Kids. 9, I think, was Fox Kids. And I guess it just depends.
Pokemon was on WB every morning.
Pokemon was on WB. Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah, that was big for me.
Yeah.
Power Rangers was on.
Power Rangers did a couple different things. I clearly remember at a certain point in time wanting to get home from school to watch Power Rangers, but also,
that's what I was going to say. I think we used to watch it. So we would watch it. I think it was in the morning before, because my grandma would watch. We always went to my grandma. She got us on the bus. We would watch the morning show because that's what she would always watch, and then usually we would be able to watch like an episode of Power Rangers, I think, but I can't remember what channel it was on. It's with old Tommy.
Oh man, no. So, R.I.P. Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to meet him at the Lexington Toy and Comic
I remember
Con.
that. Didn't you get some signed mine?
No. It was one of those. It was before I actually went to do the con. So I go to cons and stuff now a lot, and I specifically make it a point to do the celebrity stuff and get stuff signed or photo ops. When I met Jason David Frank, it was in an elevator, actually, at the Hyatt next door. So I wasn't even like, at that point in time is when I was going to cons just to buy a bunch of stuff. So I didn't even meet the celebrities or anything. One thing I feel that's necessary to point out, obviously, our first couple episodes, was very much talking about like 2005 to kind of current, I guess. This is all, obviously, we're talking late 90s, early 2000s.
I mean, I can remember all of elementary school. We did this. We had a system.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was late 90s. I want to say we watched the original Pokemon probably. I mean, it was late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, and
when it came over.
Well, and I'd have to look at the some of the dates for mine, but nonetheless, like, we're going a little further back in the archives, for this one, and it's so funny, you said, I'm pretty sure 7 was WB, I think 9 was Fox Kids.
We watched 7 on Saturdays.
Yeah, and then at some point in time,
didn't the Jackie Chan show, wasn't that on?
Yes,
WB?
that was WB.
That was a good show.
That was good.
That was a good show.
No, and that's the thing, because we had, TMNT, of course, Animaniacs, Sonic, Spider-Man, Batman Beyond. They were all kind of scattered between. I can't remember what was specifically on.
I watched a little bit of Batman Beyond.
I really liked Batman Beyond.
I didn't mind it.
I will say what blew my mind.
I was really young with Batman Beyond.
Well, and
because that was early 2000.
Yeah, and so I really just did Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and learned just kind of recently in talking to people that, like, there are some people that did not do Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network at all. They just did Disney. Like, that was it. That was all they did.
So that's what we did. So growing up, we did when it was summer and we were at our grandma's house, we would always watch, like, when we were super young, like in elementary school, we watched Disney because it had like more educational, I guess. That's what my grandma would kind of have us watch. So we'd watch. It was Rolly Poly Oly. I'll never forget that. We used to watch it all the time. It was a Disney show. But the big thing about Disney was Disney had the movies every Friday.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah. See, the only one I even know anything of is Brink,
It's the skating one, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Tsunami, fantastic movie. Halloween Towns, they were always on Friday around.
Oh, man. My buddy Brian, his wife Laura, she is obsessed with Halloween Town.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's her. And actually, wasn't Hocus Pocus technically a Disney?
Mm-hmm. Hocus Pocus 2 is streamed on Disney Plus.
Well, yeah. I saw that. But no, wasn't Boys Meet World?
Boy Meets World was Disney, yeah.
Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so
Stevens, I believe, was Disney?
Yes. So I was shocked. I didn't know. Like, it tells you one of those things. As a kid, you do not think about the voices that you're hearing, like, at all. I feel now as an adult with anime and games, like, we talk all the time about voice actors and just how huge of a deal they are. And maybe you didn't know this. The guy who voiced, and I forget the character's name in Batman Beyond, but Batman, was voiced by Will Friedle from Boy Meets World. And I did not know that. And I was like, oh, he's Batman.
He's Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't know that. And then, like, in TMNT, I had no idea that Cam Clark voiced, I think he did Leonardo, but nonetheless, Cam Clark voiced one of the Turtles. Cam Clark voiced Liquid Snake in Metal Gear Solid, which, as we established last week, is my favorite game of all time. And I did meet and get Cam Clark's signature on something with David Hayter's signature, for the record. But it's Go ahead.
No,
well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say it's insane. The voices back then that have now gone on to do so many other things at that point.
What was Transformers on?
Now, Transformers was Fox Kids. I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain it was.
I'm pretty sure that's what Sonic was on too. Because if I remember right, I would watch Transformers and then turn around and watch Sonic.
Now, I didn't watch OG Transformers, but
I watched the one with the mini-cons.
Well, I did the one that they went with that weird 3D animation, kind of like reboot from Toonami, Beast Wars. I did watch the hell out of some Beast Wars.
The one where they were all getting mini-cons and stuff is the one that I watched a lot of.
No, there was something about, and there's something to be said about the fact that, like, all the streaming platforms now, like, I remember, like, having to go find old retro cartoons on YouTube videos or something like that.
Remember Boomerang?
Well, yeah, Boomerang still. Well, so it used to be a standalone. It's a channel on Amazon.
Yeah, and now it has the shows that we're talking about are on Boomerang.
Yes,
I remember it used to be like Foghorn Leghorn and
well, that's like if you
Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes.
Well, and if you've gone to a hotel at all recently and you put on whatever channel it is that has, like, Nick at Night or whatever. So when we were younger, it had I Love Lucy or Happy Days and da-da-da-da and all that stuff on it.
No.
And yeah.
Nick at Night had George Lopez and
for you maybe.
It had George Lopez.
But now it's showing stuff like Friends and and other
It was
shows.
showing Friends whenever I
okay. Well, we're not that different in age, but fair enough.
No, I Love Lucy. I'm just being serious. My grandma watched I Love Lucy on TV Land, because when I would go, so we would always
TV Land, Nick at Night is kind of the same thing.
So we would go.
I feel like if I'm wrong, people are gonna be very angry. But
dang,
I'm just saying.
We would watch whatever we'd watch in the morning, and then Saturday through the day we would always go to my grandma's. Well, that's what she had on, and it was always kind of the same. Like, Leave It to Beaver was on, I Love Lucy was on.
Yeah, and see what I'm getting at is that those things now are that used to show really, really old shows. They're showing shows now that, like, we grew up with.
That's what I was getting. That's what I was saying with Boomerang.
Yes. But no, I mean, and so there's something to be said about the nostalgia factor, but then also how everything, like Transformers, the cartoon, were huge. The movies came out. Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox. Those movies were great. Sonic. I think it's arguably.
I really like the Sonic movies.
I think it is a fair assessment to say that Sonic may be the best live action video game adaptation film. Now, I say this being someone who loves everything, so, like, every video game based movie I love. But, like, so Sonic movie, TMNT, we don't even need to talk about how amazing that is. All of these things.
The original TMNTs were fantastic. I even like the new ones. But
I agree.
The three originals were the one when they were samurais. The third one, fantastic.
Oh, dude, no,
fantastic live action adaptation.
Well, and I think it's interesting that it shows just how our generation, like, maintains the nostalgia more than most, with the way that everything, it's old, it's retro, but everything's getting kind of rehashed. Like Street Sharks. Street Sharks is another one of those shows. Okay, you're giving me that look like you never watched Street Sharks?
I really don't know what Street Sharks is.
Man, so okay.
Hold on, let's look up the release date for Street Sharks while you talk.
So, all right, you look it up. So you had TMNT, of course. You've got the 4 Turtles. You had Captain Planet was one where you had the teenagers with all the different elements. Power Rangers, the different colors. So Street Sharks, what year was that?
1994.
94, okay. All right.
Do you remember what year I was born, Chase?
Shit. All right, fair enough. I'll cut you some slack. Was it 94?
20 days after that.
20 days. Okay, you were born 20 days after Street Sharks. All right. But Street Sharks was amazing, and I would love to see it get modernized. But apparently, the one they picked, because they had Street Sharks and a bunch of other random animal things. One of them was biker mice from Mars, I think. Yeah, biker mice from Mars. Apparently, that's going to get a reboot before Street Sharks. What, are you looking up biker mice now?
No.
But no, those were all those random Saturday morning shows, and they've got these resurgences, that are happening. Some by the same studios that made them, and some with new studios, but like Gargoyles. I don't know if you ever watched
Love Gargoyles. I actually really like Gargoyles.
That's
I was watching it. I think you could have streamed it on Amazon. I think
it was Disney, because
was
Disney,
it Disney?
Disney
Disney
owns
had
the
it,
rights.
and
Yeah.
I was watching on Disney just because I was like, man, I loved this show.
Yeah, and
which I think they only actually did like a season or two of that.
No, there was a couple. I've got it. Well, I had them on DVD. But the thing with Gargoyles, again, back to voice actors. Gargoyles had Keith David, who did the Arbiter in Halo. He did
I forget
the
how much
Admiral.
you know about voice actors.
Yeah, he did the Admiral in Mass Effect. He's just done so many things. He was in the Riddick movie, but it also had is it John Rhys Davis that did Gimli in Lord of the Rings? He voice acted in that. So it's insane. Like, just when you think about, like, as kids, you hear these voices, you don't know, but you look at the staples now.
See, I remember, so I used to sleep with the TV on just because it put me to sleep. Like, before phones were a thing and you would scroll phones all the time.
Yeah, doom scrolling for the win.
Yeah, now but I'd turn on 42, Nickelodeon, every day. And I would turn it on, and I always knew about what time it is when I was getting ready for school because I knew what came on.
Yeah, knowing the schedule, that was the thing. Like, yeah, I know Saturday morning is kind of the topic, but I very much also remember, like, in the morning, 42 was Nickelodeon, 52 was Cartoon Network. And I will tell you this, I
29
feel...
was Disney, just so you know. I know you didn't care.
But... Oh, yeah. But, I will say that I think a lost art from TV remotes is that previous channel button. Like, you could have 42 on, watch something on Nickelodeon, and then the previous button set to 52, and you could flip over to something on Cartoon Network. Of course, I never used that button to shuffle between, like, 16, 17, and 18, which, if you're from Louisville, you may know what I'm referring to, but I would never use the button that way. But that may have been before your time, Austin. I'm not really sure. Are you familiar with what 16, 17,
yes.
and 18? All right, fair.
It was the movie channels.
Yeah, the movie channels, exactly. That's exactly right. We never used the previous channel button for that.
The other thing too, did you ever watch, like, there was a bunch of shows that I feel like now they're still, like, coming out or they're bringing them back, but the animation is so much different. Like, SpongeBob's a great example for that. Like,
are they doing a new SpongeBob?
No, like, if you look the art up for SpongeBob now, it's nothing like it used to.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing it.
Well, they never stopped. Like, they're still
they just
putting out
the
stuff, and they've updated the animations, and animation's so much different now than what it used to be.
Well, no, now that's valid. Did you watch X-Men 97? The series that just released on Disney last year? Well, first off, you need to, because it is phenomenal.
There was we got caught up doing something because I remember it coming out and us talking about it, and I never ended up watching.
Oh, it is so excellent, and in general, the OG X-Men was amazing. That theme song, like, still a banger. And the new one, they kind of maintain that, but you talk about the animation. Like, obviously, it's more modernized.
So much different.
And it's just so clean. Like, so clean.
Well, and that's what, like, but some things I don't think needed to be changed that got changed, is what I was getting at.
No, yeah, that's fair. And, that's the thing, too. The Saturday mornings were great. And is that they've, like, 3D-fied SpongeBob.
Yeah,
that
this is 2025.
Substantially different than...
That's what I was getting at.
See, like, and you probably did watch SpongeBob.
Like, well, it was one of them that was on 42. So,
yeah,
like,
see, I was
like,
see, by the time SpongeBob came out, I was deep. You have to look at the year it came out, but I was
probably like 11 or 12.
Yeah, so so I was 16. So I was deep into the anime phase by that time. So yeah, I never really watched SpongeBob. What year did it come out? Is that what you were?
No, you would have been 10. So you probably would have been.
Yeah, maybe it's because, but 10. So that's the thing. So
that should have been when you really switched to like Toonami and stuff. Probably.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So what's funny is,
because it came out in '99.
Yeah, well, see, so Dragon Ball Z, my favorite anime of all time, and it's still a deep part of my personality. Ironically enough, I also still have a Dragon Ball Z shirt on today, just like I did every other time. It started in the States in '98. I talked about how 1998 is a very important year.
Yeah, well, I remember you talking about that.
And that's
what was
when
the last episode, or no, the first episode.
Yeah,
the first episode.
So I mean, '98 is a very like important year. But Toonami, like the Saturday morning cartoons, big thing. The Saturday morning weekday block, also a big thing.
And that also, Saturday night at what was it? What did it start at 8?
The Toonami stuff.
Yeah.
See, by the time when I watched Toonami. So we're gonna jump from the Saturday morning cartoons to kind of an anime take here. But when I started Toonami, it was on during the week after school. It was like a 4 to 6 block or something like that.
No, I remember. That's what I was talking about. When Pokemon would come out or Pokemon would start.
Yeah, Pokemon wasn't on Toonami though. It was on. It was on WB.
But it came on before, or maybe it was on WB.
Yeah, I'd have to see. I think Pokemon was weekly. I don't think it was daily.
No, we used to watch it when we got home from school because I got in trouble.
Really?
Okay, so I got in trouble because we were watching Dragon Ball. We were watching Pokemon, and my grandma comes in because they would play two episodes. One was at like 4, and one was at 4:30. We were only 5 minutes from our school at my grandma's house, so we would be there. Well, our whole thing was we would come home, we would get a snack, we'd watch an episode of Pokemon, do our homework. There was one day Wayne somehow didn't have any homework. Well, I magically didn't have any homework.
I feel like he made it up. I feel like
I magically didn't have any homework that day. Well, then my grandma got my backpack and found out I had homework. And I didn't get to watch Pokemon for a couple days.
That's fair. And I do remember watching Pokemon, but my big thing, and it's actually funny because anytime I have a conversation with people about Toonami, a lot of times what they talk about is the late night or the weekend.
The Saturday, because it played on Saturdays.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I got into Toonami, it was a week, like Monday through Friday block. Like I said, it was from like 4 to 6. Sonny Strait, I'm on a whole voice actor kick today. Sonny Strait, who voices Krillin in Dragon Ball Z, voiced the original Tom for Toonami. Maybe in the original, but at some point he did Tom. But the Toonami lineup back then, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon, Reboot, Ronin Warriors was on there. And of course, there was a bunch of others that popped up. Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Trigun. Like
Bleach was on it at one point, too.
Now,
but that was the Saturdays. Because what they were doing
that
was...
may have been what it was.
Well, so before you had Crunchyroll and Funimation and all of that, which Funimation isn't a thing anymore. And then what was the one that Scott used to use that was like... You paid one subscription.
VRV.
Verve, yeah.
Yep.
And you were able to get like all of them or something like that.
Yep.
Which isn't a thing anymore.
I think they got bought by Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll's bought everybody. Yeah, that's why it's just Crunchyroll now, which I actually really like Crunchyroll.
No, I think
they're doing fantastic with it.
Well, again, Sony fanboy, and I'm fairly certain either Sony owns Crunchyroll or there's some kind of
I believe Sony owns
relationship.
Yeah.
So
but
again, Sony's the
what I was man, now I lost all train of thought. But
come on now,
because
I'm the old one. I'm supposed to lose my train of thought.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on,
it's accurate. But I didn't really like. That's the only way you could watch it because the new episodes didn't come out on Crunchyroll like they do today. They came out like Bleach. Bleach played through the entire season on Saturdays. I remember that because I referenced my buddy Michael that I met or Ryan that I met from North Carolina playing COD Modern Warfare 2 last episode.
Yeah.
We would, on Saturdays, we would play Modern Warfare 2, and both of us had a second TV in our room. I had a little box TV, so I could have something playing while I was watching.
Throwback.
Yeah. Not as boxy as like when you had TVs, but you know what I mean.
Unnecessary.
But it was the one. It was one of those TVs that had the little DVD player in the bottom of it.
Yeah. So you had a DVD player. You didn't have one with the VCR in the bottom of it.
No, this one had both.
Oh,
it had DVD and VCR, built into it.
Dual purpose.
Yeah. So, but it had cable hooked up to it, and I was able to watch Bleach. So we would watch it. So I've watched, and I don't remember if we watched all of it, but we watched most of it. and then you would watch, or we play Modern Warfare 2 and watch Bleach.
Yeah, so I didn't watch it really on the weekends. It was during the week. And the thing is, what's really, really funny about the kind of Toonami era. So Dragon Ball Z started airing in 1998. And that's also when like Toonami blew up, was when they got Dragon Ball Z. When I got Dragon Ball Z, I literally it was convenient enough that when I started it, it was right at the start of the Saiyan saga. So literally the first episode was when I actually started watching it. And, where you talk about now, new things hit Crunchyroll and stuff like that. Like, that is why I don't mind watching anime and waiting the 3 weeks or whatever for it to be dubbed. Because back then, like, I remember watching every day Dragon Ball Z, the whole Saiyan saga. The next thing you know, you see a trailer where the next episode is them heading to Namek and da 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 da. And then you're hyped up. It's on a Friday. You're like, cool, Monday, we're going to see this new episode. And it was the Saiyan saga starting over again because they hadn't dubbed any of the Namek saga yet. So it had to start all over. And you rewatch the whole Saiyan saga. And then by the time it got back around, they had recorded it so it would continue. And like, so you tell me now, like if I'm really, and yes, I prefer, I think we both prefer anime in dub.
No, I watch sub most of the time.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. So he's a purist and prefers sub.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just I'm very big on if I start an anime one way, I have to finish it that way.
That's fair. I can't.
But like,
maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. But
like Solo Leveling was super far behind, and I loved it. And TikTok's filled with spoilers, and I couldn't deal with it. So spoilers are what really make me watch it in dubbed, because Solo Leveling, Demon Slayer, the only thing is like I stay super far away from mangas and I only watch the shows.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I don't.
Now, I mean, I will say with Dragon Ball, like.
So wait, when we were talking last episode about Dragon Ball and stuff, or maybe it was the first episode again. It was the first episode, but I made a comment about me watching Dragon Ball. I think that might have been on Toonami through the week.
Yeah.
Original, not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball, and I'd have to look it up as far as the airing, but Dragon Ball, I believe, aired on the weekends, and I don't think it was on Toonami per se.
And now I want to know where I watched it at.
But I could be mistaken. It could have been Dragon Ball Z could have come first and then they went backwards. That may have been the case because I watched Dragon Ball after I watched Dragon Ball Z. And that may have been the case. I'll have to look up to confirm, but maybe Dragon Ball came after the fact. But the thing that's so insane about watching Dragon Ball on Toonami was the thing with Toonami and all that too. Well, I'm going to age myself, I'm guessing, with all this, but it's around the same time as like, not the internet coming out per se, but like becoming household, I guess, like AOL. Like, I don't know if you all had AOL or is that okay? All right. And
we didn't really. I mean, by the time we really started using internet, it wasn't like I remember Wayne in middle school had, was it AIM?
Yeah, AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah,
when everybody would type ASL all the time, age, sex, and location. The things we were doing in chat rooms that our parents didn't know. Sorry, Mom. It's
to be fair, by the time I got done, it was dial-up was gone, AIM was gone.
Yeah, well, and then now you have, is Omegle still around? Is that still a thing? Man, we got some stories about that too. You remember the shindigs with when we pull up Omegle on New Year's Eve? And you know what? That is not a story for this discussion.
No, we're gonna go back to our
rein it back in. But no, I bring up the internet and Dragon Ball because probably one of my favorite things to do with Dragon Ball was did you ever have Limewire or Kazaa for the downloading?
Limewire.
Yeah. So you also were familiar with all of the viruses.
Oh, it destroyed our computer.
Oh my gosh.
Wade had a laptop, and that laptop was basically a Limewire laptop, and it.
I don't know how many computers I ruined because of all the downloading. But what was so cool, of course, it would take 3-4 hours to download, if not a whole day. But do you remember the Dragon Ball? Hell, even the Naruto, like the AMVs, like where they would
remember
have...
Scott used to show us some all. We used to have. Do you remember what was that website? we used to play. It was a game website, but it was like a chat room website. And your profile, it was probably before you really knew Scott.
Yeah.
Guy Online is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember? No, he was still playing it whenever.
Well, there was one called IMVU or something that was.
Yeah, IMVU came after Gaia.
Oh, okay.
Gaia we played first, but you always made your profile an anime you were into, which at the time Scott was reading One Piece, so mine was Arlong. I'll never forget that. And then we got into Naruto, and I switched everything to Gaara.
Oh man,
like everything was Gaara. Nowadays, now that I've actually seen everything, Shikamaru reigns supreme. But
well, yeah, I forgot you love Shikamaru. But no, the AMVs, man, like I very clearly remember like one that someone did from the Broly movie that had in the Linkin Park's In the End on it. It was so good.
Dude, that's what mine is. My favorite one I've ever seen, and I've actually tried to look for this. And
a very specific one.
It was Gaara, and it was Scars for Papa Roach.
Oh man,
dude, it was fan.
We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go down a rabbit hole because these have to exist somewhere.
Yeah, like I tried to find this one specifically, and I couldn't find it.
There's also one that's got, I think it's a Bon Jovi song. It's My Life, I think is what it is. That was another one. It was a Vegeta one. But no, the fact
I'm trying to think of who everybody's was because mine was. I feel like Scott's was Kakashi, which would make sense.
Oh yeah,
it would make sense. I don't remember what Wayne's was because this was.
It was a
Scott
while
and
ago.
Wayne were probably 14 or 15, 14 maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
So I'd have been 9 or 10.
Well, see, the other thing aside from the AMVs though, like when we were talking about the whole dub and sub thing, like I technically was downloading episodes for Dragon Ball Z and GT because GT was not in the States yet. And I would get episodes that were Japanese, but they didn't have subtitles. Like it was just in Japanese.
So you were just watching the.
Yeah, but then I like felt bad. Like I downloaded a lot of stuff through Limewire and Kazaa, and don't give me that look. I downloaded a lot of stuff off Limewire and Kazaa, but for some reason watching Dragon Ball and GT in Japanese and not. See, there's a reason we do this in audio and not video. But no, I started feeling bad. But what ended up happening, and I hope that there are other people that are listening that are familiar with the store, Suncoast Video. You remember Suncoast in Jefferson Mall? Oh, do not tell me you don't remember Suncoast.
To be honest, we didn't go. If we went to the Jefferson Mall, it was on Sundays after church, and we would go to the food court.
Oh, so y'all did that God Squad stuff, were you go out and get food and all that stuff?
We did it every Sunday.
Fair enough. Well, no, Suncoast Video. So it was in J Mall. If you were walking toward GameStop from the food court, it was on the right just before the big opening where the trampolines and stuff used to be. Suncoast Video, I'll never...
Like across from the candle shop? Because the candle shop was on the corner, and straight across would have been...
Yeah, basically. Well, kind of. It was more across from like where our Apostle was. If that's even still a thing, I don't know.
It's not. I think it closed down, but I know what you're talking about.
But so I'll never forget, I went into Suncoast, and this was kind of the beginning of my... Not to bring GameStop into this discussion.
That's not what became FYE, was it?
No. I mean, in the mall, conceptually, yes. But so I lived so close to Jefferson Mall, for the record. Like, I walked up there all the time. Like, all the time. And that was what began, like, my obsession with GameStop, was I'd shop in there all the time and got to be really, really tight with people that worked there. And that's essentially what led to me working at GameStop. Was because I was always there as a customer and blah, blah. But anyway, back to Suncoast Video. I would go up to the mall all the time and I'd get sample. It's a Chinese place in the mall. Anyone local know exactly what I'm talking about. But Suncoast Video. Anyway, see, rabbit hole, squirrel. I went in and noticed that they had Dragon Ball Z on VHS. So the Cell Saga had just ended. And they went all the way back to the beginning of the Android Saga, which I know you would love because Android 18.
Is this a rental?
No, it was not a rental place. It was purchase. And they had the VHS from the Otherworld tournament. So the next saga, where Goku and Pikkon fight and all that, and it leads into the Buu saga. I officially stopped watching Toonami then because these movies came out. It was either 2 a month. I think it was 2 a month. And one VHS tape had 3 episodes. So 6 episodes a month.
They did that with Pokemon. The same thing. Yeah,
exactly,
Pokemon was the same way.
But I officially stopped watching Dragon Ball Z on TV because I was ahead. at that point because they were so far. I didn't watch the Boot
Which goes
Squad.
back to what we were talking about, where when did Dragon Ball go on a Toonami and that nature? Because this is why you stopped with Toonami.
It was, and then I ended up same thing. I bought GT. I bought the movies. Like Suncoast was where I bought every big piece of physical media as it relates to movies, TV, like all my Dragon Ball I bought on VHS there, eventually bought on DVD. The cartoons we were talking about earlier, I had the whole original TMNT on VHS. Like, that was where I bought everything.
That's where your collector part came in.
That's exactly it. That's
what started it.
Yeah. And of course, the bad part about being a collector is selling and buying and selling and buying.
So of the three big channels, we'll say Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney. I know you already said you didn't really watch Disney. Which one did you say you would watch the most of?
I feel it's in different chunks. So
I feel like it depended on time of day.
Well, not even time of day. For me, it's 1998. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up 1998. Pre-98, I would say Nickelodeon. Like, straight up, like, I probably watched more Doug and Rugrats.
I watched Doug and Rugrats.
Yeah, Doug, Rugrats, Cat Dog, like, all of that.
Like Doug's friend Skeeter.
Yeah, and then also, so that was the during the week stuff, and then on the weekends would be like the Fox Kids.
Cat Dog. Yeah. That was a good one. Was Johnny Bravo Cartoon Network, or was it Nickelodeon?
Yes, no,
it was Cartoon Network.
That
right?
era, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory,
loved those. Loved them.
Powerpuff Girls. I can't think of what else. Is it Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Courage. Okay, so that's one of them I was talking about
Cartoon
too. Because I think they redid Courage. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I believe they redid a Courage like a year or two ago.
Oh,
and it's the different animation, like we were, like I was talking about.
I didn't know that.
That's what I was getting at. Is I believe they redid that because you remember Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
Yes. Yeah, that's the same art style. Yeah,
another good one. But
I was saying, I don't know if I watched that one. I'm familiar with it though.
I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon. Really, all I really watched was, which again, 5 years isn't a lot, but it is when it comes to this aspect because the show's changed so much.
Yeah.
So like. When I was growing up, it was Fairly Odd Parents was one. Rugrats was still on.
Yeah.
But Rugrats was always on really early. And then, like, when it got through the day, it was the newer show, so Fairly Odd Parents. So we watched it on Nickelodeon.
See, I was always a real, like, early bird. Like, I get up at, like, between...
You're like that now.
Well, yeah, I get up between, like... I don't get up as early now. I get up at, like, 4 or 5. I used to get up at 2 or 3, but now I get up at 4 or 5. Don't give me that look. It's not that early.
I'm not even... home from work.
Well, see, there you go. You work nights anyway. But that's how, I was an early bird back then too. So catching Rugrats or whatever in the morning. And I completely forget too. I mentioned it kind of briefly when I talked about like Friends and Boy Meets World and stuff. Did you ever watch Saved by the Bell?
Yes, but it was because my parents watched that show a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess that kind of checks out though.
Yeah, because it was the first kind of like
teen drama kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been like, they didn't watch it like,
well, see,
but I remember it because I remember Screech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Dustin Diamond.
Yeah. So Screech and was it Kelly?
Oh, Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
Yes. Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Did you ever see the show White Collar? She was on that.
I like that show. Good show.
And then there's a new show, Found, I think it's called. And the guy who played Zach Morris, his name escapes me. He's on that. But no, my sister, so my sister's 3 years older than me. However, she looks 10 years younger than me for the record.
It's not hard.
But yeah, getting brownie points here. But she watched Saved by the Bell, and Saved by the Bell came on the same channel as I think it came on Nickelodeon. I could be mistaken.
You know what? Do you know what channel we used to watch? It was 40. It was ABC Family.
That's okay.
And it had Saved by the Bell. That's what had Power Rangers on it. Okay. That I was telling you about earlier. That's what had Power Rangers on it. And it had another show that we watched. But like,
what was your first introduction? Which series was for Power Rangers? Like, what were
the original?
Was it Mighty Morphin? Okay.
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
The only one that matters. Yeah.
So, but I watched. It definitely depended on the type of mood. I would watch a lot of. I remember Johnny Bravo pretty exclusively.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo was good stuff.
Of course, you kind of know this, but don't really. Ginormous Scooby-Doo fan growing up. Like, absolutely loved it.
I didn't know that until this came up in like earlier, and I didn't know that until you told me.
Yeah, big loved Scooby Doo. All the original, the What's New Scooby Doo, original Scooby Doo. I even watched like the newer ones just because it's Scooby Doo. I've even seen some of those. I used to watch the movies. That was what on Friday or
The live action movies.
I've seen all of those. Yeah. But what I was getting at, they actually did a. So speaking of Scooby Doo, they tried to get a Kickstarter for a YouTube for Mystery Incorporated. It is a YouTube video. There's only 2 episodes on, I think. It is a 50-minute video on YouTube. If you look up Mystery Incorporated, it is actually fantastic.
Animated?
No,
or no live
it's
action.
It's a live action that these people put together and filmed.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really cool.
Fan made stuff, like
there's a lot of fan made stuff that's really good.
I hate that I'm about to say this. There is a live action Dragon Ball. It is probably,
what was the one that was really bad? Evolution?
Yes, and I saw it in theaters, and it is probably the only thing I regret watching. I'm gonna have nightmares.
You don't say that very much.
No, I can count on one hand how many movies I like unequivocally hate, and that's one of them. But I say that to say there's a fan made live action like History of Trunks on YouTube that's got Android 17, 18, Future Gohan, and it's amazing. Like if you haven't seen it, you've got to look it up. But I feel the other thing that, and literally as we've been talking, like I'm kind of looking because I know there's something else from '98. This is not a significant. It is not heavy. It is not emotional. It's hysterical. But did you ever watch Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Did you play the game?
Oh, I loved the game.
The game was fantastic,
dude. It came out. I had no idea. Whenever I was, just kind of refreshing my memory, and I saw that Celebrity Deathmatch came out in '98. I did not know it was that old.
Dude, I remember so there was, because of course everywhere you go, so you have something different.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
So like one of my grandmas, we'd watch MTV and G4.
Dude, G4.
G4 was fantastic. But
Attack of the Show
would come on.
What was the one with Adam?
Cops was on there.
Yeah.
Cops was on there for a while, and then
man, I forgot about G4.
Ninja Warrior was on there. Fantastic show.
Yes.
We watched. Me and my cousin used to watch MTV and watch like Next and
dude, those shows. Next.
What was the one with you would like?
Oh my gosh, there were so many of them.
But I don't even know why we watched them, but we watched them.
Yeah, that's like the Real Housewives of this generation, basically.
So I was literally like 10 years old, trying to,
gosh.
and that was like, so me and my cousin stayed like 3 or 4 days with us one week, and my mom gave us a list of stuff. I was like, hey, you all do this. It was when I was playing Pokemon TCG, real heavy. And she was like, hey, if you do this, I'll take you to the tournament on Friday. We'll go up there. And we got caught up watching one of those shows. I don't remember what it was.
Oh my god!
And we looked down, and they were going to be home in like 2 hours. We worked so hard. When they got home, we were still finishing the dishes up.
Man, I'm gonna have to look up the name of some of those. I remember Next.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, there was. I feel like there was one with like something with their bedroom, something going on with the room,
where they would go in and look at all the bedrooms or something like that.
Yeah, or something. There was MTV was.
Remember what was the one whenever their parents would pick people for them to date?
Yeah, that's the
one I'm talking about.
Man, there was, MTV, but I'm sitting here, I just covered my whole face with my hand, so if that cut out, that's probably why. But MTV had a bunch of squirrely shows. VH1's another one that had a bunch of weird ones.
I remember watching a lot of the music videos on those too.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, music video wise, the one that sticks in my head that literally every morning when I woke up, it was what was playing was Linkin Park's "Numb." Like that video,
well, it was so popular for sure.
Oh man, I saw it every single morning. And at that particular time and that age, that song resonated with me very personally.
So, but going back to the TV shows, I know we started this on TV shows, but this is just TV in general that we watched.
We said that we were going to pivot away from Saturday and everything else.
This is literally just TV we watched growing up, but kind of because in a way it kind of helped form us, like what we watched, what we like now, like what I'm into. Like I started like Star Wars, as Chase mentioned a couple episodes ago. That's something that is a big part of me now. Like
Yeah, I'm literally looking at a lightsaber right now as because you have two of. Do you have two of them?
Three.
Three lightsabers. Yeah,
there's a
sounds like
Millennium.
you're compensating.
Yeah. There's a Millennium Falcon, Lego. I mean, but Star Wars. Like I remember what first introduced me to Star Wars is when the prequels came out. Technically, I mean, yeah, everybody's not a huge fan of them, but because that's what we watched them. My dad got all of them from Blockbuster, and we watched them at the house one weekend.
Man,
so
no, and yeah, I mean, we could spend. I feel like we're gonna have to like end up having an episode about movies. That's
we
actually
could do a movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're gonna do
episode.
movies because we're gonna talk about Blockbuster and everything else, But yeah, TV show wise, we talked about Saturday Morning, we talked about anime. Heck, we even pivoted to some of the weird live action of MTV. But that's going to kind of wrap up our story mode for the day. But we've got a couple side quests that we need to pivot to. Our first one, we're going to be going back to our now loading segment. If you remember, that is just kind of a recurring segment we have pop up where we do things from social media. And okay, you're giving me the look. Yeah, we're basically going through TikTok, finding stuff that's
we're
cool.
doing TikTok trends.
Yeah, we're finding stuff that's cool, and that's what we're doing. The one today, basically, so it's called 15 words or less. Austin is going to give 2-word hints for up to 7 different shows. It can be the show, it can be a character, and I'm going to guess. I feel this is going to go really bad. Because I don't have any insight on what direction he's going with this. So, yeah, but no. So we're going through 7.
And I can't say anything to actually go with the show. That's the
yeah.
They can't be in the name.
Yeah, are these shows or characters?
Everything I have is a character.
All right, fair enough. Okay, well, start me off.
Orange.
Okay, what's the other word? I get 2 words. I get 2 words per character.
So you want to do it as a small amount of words as possible.
Okay. Goku.
There's number 1.
Hey!
Glasses.
Gohan.
Missing.
Glasses missing. That's not a TV show, so I'm not going to say that. I don't know. Give me another one.
Orange.
Really? Orange glasses missing. You're giving me a look like I'm going to feel really dumb when you tell me what this is.
Oh, you're going to.
Okay, go ahead and tell me.
No, I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm just going to keep giving you words.
All right, give me another clue.
So how many words are we up to right now?
Well, this
4,
is 3.
Right?
Yeah, I need a 4th
4
one.
altogether.
Yeah, orange glasses. Missing was the other one you gave me. Okay.
Ascot.
Ascot.
Ascot, like you wear.
What is an ascot?
Oh my
god! That's a piece of clothing.
Dog.
Cat dog. I don't know what an ascot is.
You don't know what an ascot is?
I know what god ass is, but I don't know what an ascot is.
Ascot, ASCOT.
Oh, what is it? I don't know. Tell me the answer.
It's Velma.
Oh, orange. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Why did you say missing?
She can't find her glasses.
Oh, fair assessment. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Chase is really bad at this.
I'm gonna have to Google what an ascot is.
An ascot's the orange thing that's
a turtleneck.
No, that Fred wears. It's like a scarf. It's an ascot.
Well, then why would this be a Velma clue if you were talking about?
Because I was trying to get you to Scooby Doo.
Oh, fair assessment. All right, what's next?
We've already used like 7 words.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Blonde sister.
Blonde sister. Is this an animated show or a live show?
I mean, I can't give you the answers.
Yeah, I know. Blonde sister. See, I'm really bad at this, apparently.
Annoying. We've lost. You only have like 5 words.
I only have, yeah. I'm not doing very well at this at all. Blonde sister. Give me another one.
Dee Dee.
Is this something from Rugrats?
No.
Dee Dee.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yes.
Are
Okay.
any of those bad?
Yeah. No.
You're just really bad at this game.
I am really bad at this game. Yeah.
We've literally already used like 7 words or 10 words.
Yeah, I know because I'm supposed to get all of them in 15 words.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep going and see if you can get it off.
Get any of them. Yeah. All right. What's the next one?
Rat.
Splinter.
Oh, you get that in one word.
Yeah, I know my TMNT.
Hair.
I have no idea. Hair could be anything.
Gel.
Johnny Bravo.
There we go.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm redeeming myself a little bit, right?
This one you're not going to get.
Oh, gosh.
I know you're not going to get it. So I'm going to have to use 3 words.
Okay.
Footballs, heads, girlfriend.
I have no clue.
Do you know what show it is, at least?
I don't think I ever watched a show that...
Oh my gosh. It's literally in the intro, Chase. Hey Arnold?
Oh, yeah, I did watch Hey Arnold. It was a good show. Wait a minute, you said football?
Move it, football head.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did watch Hey Arnold. Man, I'm bad at this. Yeah, so...
This is atrocious.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
I sent you this thinking you would be good at it.
Yeah, normally these things I am good at. No, not so much. So,
like, that was awful.
This was awful.
Because, when did I give you a wrong clue?
No, they were all really good clues. I'll have to give you that. Do you have any more characters?
No, that was 7. You're 7 and 15. You did 2.
Like 25 words.
You did 2. I gave you the rest of them.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So I think what we learned from this is that this particular trend, we're going to flip the script and do it the other way around so that I can prove that he's just as bad as I am. I think that's what we learned from this. And that I need to Google what an Ascot is, because God-ass and Asgod are 2 different things, apparently. So, didn't realize that was a thing. Okay, so yeah, that was our now loading segment for the game that I did very, very horrible at. It's like the spoiled rich kid thing.
That's an ascot.
Okay, well, spoiled rich kid thing is what I would
It's
call
what
it.
Fred wore.
I thought it was a scarf. So, but anyway, so that was now loading. Our next segment, because I need to move on past my horrible performance there, is Rewind Select. So this is a new segment. Basically, it is a kind of random deep pull moments. Basically, we're going to revisit an obscure topic from the past. Maybe we're going to talk about a toy line, defunct website, or other weird 2000s trends. Really, what was kind of on my mind, since we were talking about Saturday morning cartoons and anime and things like that, was really around like toys. Because I don't know about you, but man, the toys that we had compared to, I'm not knocking like the kids today and the toys they've got some badass toys today. I think we can both agree by the Legos that you have that the Legos kids have now are way better than the Legos we had. But the toys and the figures, like, man, I think back to, and actually we were in Target the other day and they had that TMNT set. Like, dude, the TMNT
toys. Oh yeah, I never told my wife we went to Target.
Oh, I think we just told her ourselves.
Sorry, Becca.
Yep, my bad. But anyway, the TMNT toys, anyone who collected those know that they did like themed figures.
Like those 4, you talking about the Halloween ones?
Yes, because
they were so cool.
Oh man, because that's the thing I told you, man. I remember the classic ones. I think Raph was a glow in the dark mummy. They had one that was like a werewolf or whatever. I remember
that's what the remakes were.
Yeah,
they were the same ones. They were just.
I remember waking up in my.
Are those Mattel?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I remember waking up in my at the time, because this is a really legacy item. You probably weren't even born yet, because if I was in my race car bed, I had to have been under like.
Wayne had a Speed Racer bed.
That's fair. I mean, but no. So you probably weren't even born yet. But I remember waking up.
Which is another show we didn't talk about.
I forgot about Speed Racer. But I remember waking up and seeing that mummy glowing in the dark, and it freaked me out for some reason. Like, I remember kind of being terrified, but I'll tell you, I can't believe that I didn't bring up the show when we were talking about Saturday morning cartoons. But did you ever watch the show Mighty Max at all? That he had the hat and Virgil the bird, which,
I feel like I've seen episodes of that. but I didn't like. It wasn't
Yeah,
like a
the
Animaniacs is another one we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
That we kind of
Well,
I
you have a lot in
remember
common. You have a lot in common with Virgil, the bird that helped him out.
just because
So
I look like him.
yeah, exactly. The nose, the beak, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But
We're
Mighty
still old.
Max. So you're getting gray now, though. So it's not just me and my beard. You're getting some gray on the top.
I mean, that's
what family life will do to you. But anyway, Squirrel.
these kids, man. These kids.
So Mighty Max. First off, amazing show. But the toy line, you probably saw the toys. They were like, you would buy them and they were like this big and they flipped open and they had a bunch of miniatures and each toy was an individual like realm or world. And there was a big red like rock castle thing that like opened up and had all the figure. Okay, so you obviously do not know what I'm talking about.
But it
with
sounds.
The look.
I mean, it sounds cool.
Yeah, those toys were fire. Like I made it a point to seek out any and all of them whenever I could.
So my big toy was talking about TV in general. Big wrestling guy. Big wrestling guy.
I did that a bit during the Attitude Era.
Had about 4 different Stone Cold Steve Austins. Greatest wrestler ever. The Rock, big fan. Those two
can whoop ass.
Yeah, but those two were big fans.
Did you have the Titantron thing?
I had the ring. I don't remember if we had the actual Titantron, but I kid you not, I had so many of those figures. They were I'll never forget. We were going to Raw when it was here.
Oh yeah, Freedom Hall. Back when is Freedom Hall still there?
Yeah, they still host stuff there.
Oh, okay,
but it's not anything. It's
Yum Center now, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But they never forget. Dad. First off, Dad used to scare us with Gangrel. Back in the day, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He used to scare us with him because I was only like 4 or 5, and then but we were on our way to Raw, and my brother and our buddy,
you probably had all the toys with you in your car, didn't you?
Oh, you had all of them. Well, they ripped off Stone Cold's head.
Oh,
I lost it. I was like 4 years old, losing my mind.
Talking about wrestling, I don't know if I ever told you this. Do you remember? And I'm literally closing my eyes trying to remember all this. It would have been around Valentine's Day. Could not tell you the year, but there was a pay-per-view event called Judgment Day. That aired. They were in Louisville at Freedom Hall, and it's where the Undertaker unveiled his new American Badass persona. Rode out on the motorcycle and all that. I was there for that.
That's kind of
like
cool.
In person.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
that was
now legit. If you see him, he's that persona. He's not.
Oh yeah.
He said he hung up the trench coat and stuff. So,
but
that was a lot of my toys. And then, do you remember Beyblades?
Oh yeah,
we got really heavy into Beyblades. I had a bunch of Beyblades. That was another show we didn't really talk about.
I forgot all about that. Yeah,
Beyblades was fantastic.
I feel like they have like competitions for playing that. I think to this day.
Yes, but Beyblades are completely different now.
Yeah,
like, it's way different now.
When you say Beyblade, do you know what I think of?
What?
Do you remember the game called Crossfire at all? So I'm convinced that there needs to be a streaming service of some kind that shows old TV shows, but more importantly, old commercials. Because Crossfire had this really cool commercial. It was like, Crossfire. It was really cool. It was this game where you would like shoot these things, and it was.
You're not describing anything.
I know. You need the hand gestures that you can't see. But Beyblade, like the whole thing of launching the Beyblade and then battling with the other, it's how that Crossfire worked. But dude, the commercials from back then, like they had the bug thing where you had to make the bugs and cook them and all that. Yeah. I think they got banned because it was like toxic or something. But no, when you said Beyblade, my brain went to the Crossfire thing. Somebody knows the Crossfire commercial. Like I know what I just said made no sense, but someone knows the Crossfire.
And I just want to bring this up because something that our listeners do not know is we play a lot of TCGs. Like that's something that we
do. We're going to end up diving into that.
Which we'll get into that, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was another show.
Oh, yeah. I forget that.
It was on WB, though, but it was on WB.
It was WB.
That's what got us really started into playing TCGs is I was playing, we would watch Yu-Gi-Oh! We'd go up and we would play Yu-Gi-Oh! At the card shop, and whenever we would go with Scott's parents would take us on the weekends. On Friday, and they'd pick us up, and then they would take us to either my parents' house for the weekend or we'd go up to Scott's for the weekend. Like that's how our weekend went.
Yeah.
So
yeah. See,
that's what really started my
TCG
well.
stuff.
We collected Pokemon with my dad a little bit, but I really started playing with.
Yeah, see, I did Pokemon, but I never touched Yu-Gi-Oh. But
Yeah,
I did.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I was never
in,
good at Yu-Gi-Oh, but I played it.
I did get into Pokemon though. But yeah, the toys back then, I mean, unmatched. Now, given I'm also a sucker for nostalgia, but in general,
well, the reason I was going to is one because that's one of the things we're into now, but also, do you remember the dual disc toys that came out for Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, again, I didn't do Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do remember them.
All of my cousins played it too, so we all had dual discs. It was lit.
I think
so. We would one of the Yu-Gi-Ohs, or which one was it? It was probably, I think it was like season 2 or 3 where they had dealt with Kaiba Corp and stuff, and they had to go around and collect them.
Mm-hmm.
We would take turns going around my grandma's yard and battling each other around the yard on the dual disc. That's how nerdy we were.
Well,
but we were also like 7 years old, and we were being
I
think we were being kids.
That's fair, and I think it's something to acknowledge that all of these things that we've talked about in the last 3 episodes, we grew up, and you were very much, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, so I'm gonna drop some heavy information. All of us at some capacity were bullied about these things, made fun of for these things, torn to shreds for these things, whatever the case may be. And it's awful. I think the experiences everyone had, helped create who you are today and everything, so it's fine. But there is something to be said about the fact that the things that we were bullied for, kids are growing up now, and it's like, cool. Like, they're not
ain't wrong.
Like, there's people who want to be mad about that. Like, oh, if you grew up whenever I did, you wouldn't survive. Da, 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 da. No. I don't see it that way at all. Like, I absolutely love that kids are able to grow up and be into these things and not be. And I'm sure there is still some of it that happens.
What gets me is the people that used to bully us for watching anime and stuff like that. Watch anime
now, yeah, because now it's cool to watch anime, and it's just one of those things that like blows my mind. But anyway, there's another squirrel moment. But that kind of takes up our rewind select section. Kind of talking about retro toys. We did go into TCGs a bit, and in general, as you can see, we have a topic, and we do pretty good on staying on topic. But then
there's little things that go into it.
Squirrel happens, and we go.
But it's usually articulated from something that we started with from the top.
Yeah, fair assessment. That's going to kind of bring us to our save point. Really, we're very overly nostalgic today. Tapping into an era that was kind of before the GameStop era that we've covered the first couple episodes.
Really, before me and Chase actually knew each other. To be honest,
100%. Yeah, we didn't even at all. I mean, we met in 2010, so these were parts where our lives were completely separate at that point in time. And technically, in the era we were covering today, GameStop wasn't even a thing. It was Babbage's and Funko Land. And
what's the one that's still in Canada? EB Games?
EB Games, yeah. Well, GameStop bought EB Games. But yeah, we talked about some retro TV, toys, and man, now I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot different than what it is nowadays. You getting. I really want to go back and find some of the stuff, especially like those AMVs. Like, get back on YouTube and try to find those. Like, that's now that we kind of.
I feel like we need to. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a rabbit hole. Like, we're gonna have to try and find some of those, or like old commercials.
Yeah, and they need a streaming service simply for that.
Oh,
especially because they shut down Cartoon Network.
Yeah, which blows my mind. But again, the streaming services and everything else, it just kind of makes sense. And I mean, I think I've said it before. All these things that we've talked about, our generation, I feel, is very, very unique, because we can clearly remember, I have these kind of memories and things of before the internet, and the Saturday mornings and things that we're talking about. And then also like the social media bit and the internet and everything. We talked about AIM and everything, but our generation very much kind of existed, I think, in two realms, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of just like internet in general, like I genuinely don't think I really messed around with anything on the internet till middle school, high school.
Yeah, I feel at some point in time we're going to be doing yes, we're talking about GameStop and games and nerdy stuff, but in general, we're going to have to do some throwbacks. We already talked about Blockbuster and movies. But I feel that the internet and social media is going to be. Did you do the MySpace thing at all, or was that after?
We'll get into that whenever we talk about it.
Yeah. Top 8. You'd be in my top 8. I think you'd be in my top 8.
You wouldn't.
Messed up, man. Messed
You'd
up.
be 9.
All right, fair enough. All right. Well, that kind of, like I said, brings us to our save point. Again, we always appreciate you hanging out with us and kind of listen to us chat and go through everything. And it's always great to have you here. Now, next week, we're going to be jumping back into some GameStop lore with our story mode. It's going to be Tales from the Trade-In. Sorry in advance if the word trade-in gives anyone PTSD from bad trade-in experiences. But we're going to get a little more into our personal experiences behind the counter, which, undoubtedly will be loaded with a few shenanigans. And as always, remember to like, follow, subscribe, whatever, your platform calls it. Don't forget to reach out in the comments. Send us an email, themidnightreleasepod@gmail.com. We've got, a couple weeks worth of questions that we've asked. Question for today is we want to hear your stories from GameStop. Now, I know that there are some folks that we worked with over the years that I would like to think are listening to this. So by all means, if you want to send in some shared stories, you can. But if not, whether you worked there or as a consumer, let us know what kind of memories that you have or you'd want to forget, depending on the vibe.
Yeah, because if some of y'all might be part of the memories that we spoke about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, don't hesitate to reach out. So, but definitely email, comments, etc. Because we're going to be getting into Tales from the Trade-In next week. I think that about covers it. You got anything else?
And just again, like I say every week, just thank you for listening. We appreciate it. That's why we're doing what we're doing, just to have fun.
Yeah, 100%. And
go ahead.
Yeah, I got to say it. But at this point, we're 3 weeks in. I really hope that all of you are. See, and now I'm fumbling because I'm getting all nervous. I hope that all of you all are starting to learn that some memories are worth lining up for. Bam! I got it that time. We'll see y'all next week.